If you're not prepared for what America's financial system is about to face, you will regret it, because the Amish have been surviving economic breakdowns for over 200 years, and 99% of Americans have never heard these secrets. Hey everyone, I'm David, and I've spent the last 15 years preparing, studying economic collapses, and learning from communities who already live without banks, without electricity, and without the modern systems we depend on. And right now, a lot of Americans are worried. Prices rising, savings losing value, grocery store shortages popping up, banks failing out of nowhere. You're not crazy to feel uneasy, but here's the good news. Today, I'm breaking down 7 Amish secrets that will help you survive the first 90 days after an economic collapse, even if the banks shut down and the supply chain falls apart. You're about to learn how Amish stay financially stable without banks, the off-grid food system that keeps their families fed all year, how they heat homes without gas or electricity, tools they use that never fail, and a survival skill you can learn in a single afternoon. This is what tens of thousands of smart preppers are already preparing for. Here's why this matters. In just the last few years, we watched multiple U.S. banks collapse out of nowhere. Inflation hit levels many Americans have never seen. Grocery shelves went empty, sometimes for weeks. The supply chain cracked in a way experts said was impossible. And here's the kicker. Every one of these failures hits the first 90 days hardest. That's why today I'm sharing what I learned studying the Amish, because they survive without all the systems we rely on. Let's get into it. Number 1, the Amish 3-stage cash flow protection plan. When an economic collapse hits, the very first thing that fails is access to your own money. We saw this during the 2023 banking crisis, when accounts froze, ATMs stopped working, and people lined up outside banks hoping to withdraw just a few dollars. For most Americans, that moment would be pure panic. But for the Amish, this isn't a crisis at all. They live in a financial system completely separate from the one the rest of us depend on, and that's exactly why their method works so well during the first 90 days of a collapse. Imagine waking up and seeing temporarily unavailable on every ATM screen. Your debit card gets declined at the gas station. Your bank app won't even open. That's day 1 of a financial breakdown. This is the moment when most families realize they have nothing to fall back on. But the Amish? They've already protected themselves long before that moment arrives. Their system is shockingly simple. They divide their money into 3 layers, each one covering a different type of crisis. The first layer is small bills kept at home. Not big stacks, not 100s, just simple $5 and $10 bills stored safely and quietly. These small bills are powerful because they help you buy the basics when stores can't give change or banks shut down. The second layer is hard goods, tools, grain, fuel, livestock. These hold value even when the dollar drops. The third layer is something most modern families don't even think about, a community credit system. Instead of money, the Amish trade labor, skills, and trust. Your work becomes your currency. If you're on a tight budget, start slow. Just a few small bills tucked away. Spread them out in 3 different spots, not one drawer. Cash is still easy to get, for now, so starting today makes all the difference. Number 2, the 90-day Amish pantry pyramid. When the supply chain cracks, grocery stores empty out in hours. We all saw this happen in 2020, and it reminded America just how fragile our food system really is. But for the Amish, an empty store means nothing. They've already built a self-reliant pantry system that can keep a family fed for months without stepping foot outside. It's simple, it's practical, and it's something anyone can copy, no matter where you live. Picture walking into your local supermarket and finding the shelves wiped clean. No rice, no bread, no canned goods, people grabbing whatever they can. Now imagine being the one person who doesn't panic because your home already has everything you need for the next 90 days. That's the power of the Amish pantry pyramid. This system breaks your food storage into 3 layers. The top layer is quick energy foods like oatmeal, beans, and honey. These keep your body fueled and your mind sharp during stressful days. The middle layer is your bulk staples: flour, rice, salt, sugar. Foods that stretch meals and fill stomachs without costing much. The bottom layer is where the real survival boost comes from. It holds fats and proteins, such as lard, canned meats, and peanut butter. These keep you strong when you're working harder and eating less. You don't need a giant basement or a farm to start this. A single closet can hold a full 90-day supply if you organize it right. And the best part? You can build it on a tight budget. Start with a few bags of rice and beans from Walmart. Add canned tuna or chicken. Grab a small jar of honey when it's on sale. The Amish follow one simple rule: store what you eat and eat what you store. Rotate it, use it, replace it. This keeps your pantry fresh and ready for whatever comes next. Number 3, the Amish off-grid water loop system. Water is the first resource to fail in a real collapse, often long before food becomes a problem. If the power goes out, city pumps shut down, faucets run dry, bottled water disappears from stores in minutes. Most families don't realize how quickly this happens until it's too late. But the Amish live with a system that keeps water flowing without electricity, fuel, or modern plumbing. It's quiet, reliable, and surprisingly simple. Picture this. You wake up on day 3 of a collapse. You turn on the tap, nothing comes out. You check again, hoping it's just a glitch. Still nothing. That moment hits hard because water is not optional. You need it to drink, cook, clean, and stay healthy. The Amish never face that moment because they use a 3-part water loop that works even in total grid failure. The first part is a gravity-fed cistern. Rainwater or well water is stored higher than the home, so gravity moves it through simple pipes. No power needed. The second part is a hand pump well. This is the backbone of Amish water security. Even if everything else breaks, a manual pump guarantees clean water as long as you can use your arms. The third part is a rain catchment backup. Gutters feed into barrels, creating a steady supply for washing, cleaning, or emergency drinking after filtering. You don't need a farm to copy this. Start small. A couple of rain barrels and a $25 manual hand pump can give you a safety net most families don't have. If you can add a gravity-fed setup later, even better. Water barrels and simple pumps are still easy to find, but that can change fast during a crisis. The real Amish secret is layering. One source fails, another picks up the slack. That's how they stay calm when everyone else is scrambling for bottled water. Number 4, the Zero Electricity Amish Food Preservation Stack. When a collapse hits, refrigeration is one of the first things to disappear. Power outages, grid failures, rolling blackouts. Once the electricity goes out, everything in your fridge and freezer starts racing towards spoilage. Meat goes bad, milk sours, fresh produce wilts in hours. Most Americans panic at that point because we're completely dependent on cold storage. But the Amish, they barely notice. They've mastered a series of low-tech preservation methods that keep food safe for months without a single watt of electricity. And the best part is, you can copy every one of these methods at home. Imagine day 5 of a collapse. It's hot, humid, and your fridge has been dead for nearly a week. You open the door hoping something is still good, and the smell tells you everything you need to know. Now imagine standing in an Amish cellar that's filled with preserved meats, jars of vegetables, dried fruits, fermented foods, and barrels of shelf-stable staples. No spoilage, no stress, no waste. That difference comes from using what I call the Amish Preservation Stack, 5 methods working together so no food ever gets thrown away. The first method is water bath canning. It's cheap, simple, and perfect for fruits, jams, tomatoes, and sweet foods. The second method is root cellaring, which is basically a natural refrigerator built underground. Potatoes, carrots, apples, and even onions last for months in the cool, steady temperature. The third method is fermenting. This one is incredibly powerful. With just salt, water, and jars, you can create long-lasting foods like sauerkraut, pickles, and kimchi. Ferments not only stay good, but actually get healthier over time.
The fourth method is drying. Amish families use sun drying and air drying to preserve apples, herbs, berries, and even strips of meat. The fifth method is salt curing. It's the oldest method on Earth and still one of the most reliable. Salt pulls moisture out of meat, stopping bacteria in its tracks. You don't need expensive gear to start any of these. A few jars, some salt, and a dry place are enough to begin. If you're starting small, go with fermentation first. It's fast, cheap, and almost impossible to mess up. This stack creates a food safety net that works even when the entire grid goes dark. Number 5, the Amish heat and cool survival system. One of the biggest challenges during a collapse is temperature control. When the power goes out, homes quickly become too hot or too cold depending on the season.
Hot in the summer and too cold in the winter. Most people immediately panic, thinking they'll need a generator, propane heater, or expensive cooling system to survive. The Amish don't worry about any of that. For centuries, they've relied on low-tech, natural methods to keep their homes comfortable even when the grid is completely down. These systems are simple, effective, and something anyone can start building today. Picture this. It's day 10 of a regional blackout in winter. Temperatures have dropped below freezing, and your modern heater is useless without electricity. Outside, the wind cuts through the streets. Most families are bundling up with every blanket they own, trying to stay warm. Meanwhile, an Amish household is perfectly comfortable. Why? Because they've mastered insulation, heat retention, and smart home design. Amish homes use wood-burning stoves as the primary heat source. A single stove can warm an entire house when placed strategically in the center. Thick quilts and layered blankets trap body heat during the night, keeping everyone warm without wasting fuel. Drafts are blocked with curtains and door seals, preventing precious warmth from escaping. In summer, they use underground cellars and shaded areas to naturally cool food and living spaces, keeping temperatures stable even when the sun is at its peak. Budget-friendly adaptations are easy. A small wood stove, a set of thermal curtains, and a few quilts can make a huge difference. For cooling, clay pots and bubble wrap on windows mimic the Amish style, keeping homes significantly cooler without any electricity. The key secret is layering and redundancy. Heat is stored, airflow is controlled, and natural cooling is always available. Even if one method fails, another is ready to take over. This system allows families to survive extreme temperatures safely, quietly, and without relying on modern technology, making it one of the most overlooked but critical survival strategies during the first 90 days of a collapse. Number 6, the Amish barter chain. When the economy collapses, money often loses its value fast. Banks freeze accounts, ATMs stop working, and even cash can be worthless if people no longer trust it. The Amish have a completely different system, a barter network built on trust, skills, and community. This network allows them to thrive during the first 90 days of a collapse when everyone else is scrambling for essentials. Imagine day 7 of a financial breakdown. Grocery store shelves are empty. Gas is scarce. People are standing in lines for hours just to buy a loaf of bread. Now, imagine having a community of neighbors who already have agreements in place. You trade eggs for milk, firewood for labor, or preserved vegetables for homemade cheese. Suddenly, you aren't dependent on cash at all. You're part of a system where skills and goods are currency, and survival is a shared effort. The Amish build this network gradually, starting small. Everyone contributes something valuable. One person may have chickens, another grows vegetables, another is skilled in carpentry or repairing tools. By sharing and trading, they create a resilient supply chain within their own community. This is something you can start doing today, even if it's just with a few trusted neighbors or family members. Begin by identifying what skills or resources you can offer. Then find people who have what you need and establish simple agreements for trade. Budget-friendly tip is to start by trading what you already have at home. A dozen eggs,
A jar of honey, or even your time helping a neighbor, can become valuable currency. Over time, your barter chain grows, giving you access to essentials without spending a single dollar. The key is trust and consistency. The Amish keep careful track of exchanges and honor agreements, making the system reliable even in chaos. If one part of the network fails, another part picks up the slack, ensuring that everyone involved continues to thrive while outside communities struggle. This approach turns scarcity into opportunity and builds security in ways modern systems cannot replicate. Number 7. Amish herbal first aid. When disaster strikes, medical care often becomes the first critical shortage. Hospitals can be overwhelmed, pharmacies may run out of supplies, and emergency services might not be available for days. Most people assume they can rely on modern medicine, but during a collapse, that assumption can be deadly. The Amish survive this challenge using herbal first aid and natural remedies, simple, low-cost, and surprisingly effective solutions that anyone can start learning today. Imagine day 12 of a collapse. Your child scrapes a knee. A neighbor gets a fever. You open your medicine cabinet and it's nearly empty.
You call the pharmacy, no answer. Hospitals are full. Now imagine having a small supply of herbs and natural remedies at home that can treat infections, reduce inflammation, and boost immunity without a single prescription. This is how the Amish prepare. Some of their most common herbs include comfrey, which helps heal cuts and bruises, and yarrow, which stops bleeding quickly and fights infection. Echinacea strengthens the immune system, while garlic and onions act as natural antibiotics. Honey is often used as an antibacterial agent and for soothing wounds. The Amish grow these herbs themselves, drying and storing them so they're ready when needed. They also teach basic preparation methods like creating poultices, tinctures, or infusions, which extend the shelf life and effectiveness of these natural remedies. Budget-friendly tip? Start small with 3 or 4 essential herbs. Plant them in a sunny spot or even in pots indoors. Learn simple recipes for tinctures, salves, and teas. Over time, expand your herbal cabinet as you gain confidence and experience. The real secret is knowledge. Herbs only work when you understand their uses and dosages. The Amish pass this wisdom down through generations, making sure every household can treat minor injuries and illnesses without depending on outside help. During the first 90 days of a collapse, having this skill set can save time, money, and potentially lives, turning a small garden into a full-scale survival tool that most modern families overlook. Number 8. Manual Power Toolkit. When the grid goes down, electricity becomes a luxury. Power tools stop working, chargers are useless, and modern appliances are dead weight. Most people panic because they've grown completely dependent on electric devices for everything, cutting wood, building shelters, or repairing tools. The Amish, however, thrive in these situations because they rely on manual power tools that never fail and can perform almost any job without electricity. Picture this. Day 15 of a collapse. You need to repair a fence, cut firewood, or build a temporary shelter. Your circular saw and electric drill are useless. Neighbors are frustrated, spending hours trying to make do with what little they have. The Amish? They reach for hand-powered tools like a brace drill, handsaw, draw knife, and manual planer. Each tool is simple, durable, and can perform critical tasks reliably even in harsh conditions. The beauty of the Amish toolkit is its versatility and durability. A single handsaw can cut multiple types of wood, while a brace drill handles holes for carpentry or repairs. Draw knives and hand planes allow precise shaping of wood for furniture, doors, or repairs. Even manual grinders can sharpen blades and tools without needing power. These tools are small investments that last decades if cared for properly, unlike electric alternatives that fail when the grid goes down. Budget-friendly tip? Start with the basics: handsaw, brace drill, and a draw knife. You can find quality used tools at flea markets, thrift stores, or online marketplaces.
Over time, expand your collection as you learn which tools you use most. The Amish secret is layering their tools for redundancy and efficiency. They often have multiple versions of the same tool, so if one breaks, another is ready. This approach ensures that work continues uninterrupted even during long-term grid failures. By mastering these manual tools, you gain independence, save money, and maintain the ability to build, repair, and survive, skills that become critical during the first 90 days of any collapse. Number 9. Amish Quiet Security System. During a collapse, personal safety becomes a top concern. When law enforcement is overwhelmed and neighborhood crime spikes, most families rely on alarms, cameras, and electronic systems. But in a long-term crisis, these tools often fail. Batteries die, networks go down, and devices become useless. The Amish survive by using quiet, low-tech security systems that are highly effective, simple, and completely independent of electricity or technology. Imagine waking up on day 20 of a widespread blackout. You hear distant chaos in town, and neighbors report looting. Your expensive electronic security system is dead. Now imagine a home protected in silence, with no lights flashing, no alarms ringing, but still fully defended. The Amish achieve this through layered, subtle security measures that both deter intruders and alert families without drawing attention. Their system relies on several clever methods. Gravel paths around the house act as an alarm. Intruders announce themselves by stepping on the stones. Dogs provide early warning and physical deterrence. Doors and windows are reinforced with simple wooden latches, which not only secure
the home, but indicate if anyone has tried to open them. Lantern placement and natural sightlines are strategically used to make approach difficult, while fences, ditches, and hedges create quiet but effective barriers. Budget-friendly tip: start with gravel paths around entry points, a reliable dog, and simple door latches. These require almost no maintenance and are easy to implement. Over time, you can layer in fences, hedges, and clever lighting for additional protection. The key Amish secret is prevention and awareness. They focus on making their homes hard to access and easy to monitor without alerting anyone outside. Even in chaos, their system works silently, buying time and keeping families safe. By using these low-tech, high-impact strategies, you gain security that doesn't rely on the grid, an essential advantage during the first 90 days of a collapse. Number 10. Amish Waste Management During Collapse. One of the most overlooked survival challenges is waste management. During a collapse, when garbage services stop and plumbing may fail, unsanitary conditions can develop quickly. Disease spreads faster than hunger or violence. Most people panic and throw trash in the yard, creating hazards for themselves and neighbors. The Amish handle this problem quietly, efficiently, and without relying on modern systems, keeping their homes safe and livable during long-term crises. Imagine day 25 of a regional collapse. Trash piles up outside your home. The smell attracts rodents. Water pools in open containers, breeding bacteria. You realize that without a proper system, sanitation itself becomes life-threatening. Amish households avoid this by using a layered, low-tech approach to waste. The foundation of their method is the sawdust toilet, which absorbs liquids, controls odor, and allows safe composting. Ash from stoves or wood fires is often added to increase dryness and reduce bacteria, making the process even safer. They also separate compostable kitchen waste from non-compostable trash. Vegetables, peels, and other organic material are stored in a small container, then rotated into compost piles outside. This creates fertilizer for gardens while keeping harmful bacteria away from living spaces. Non-compostable waste is minimized and stored until safe disposal is possible. The goal is simple: reduce smell, reduce contamination, and recycle what you can. Budget-friendly tip: a 5-gallon bucket with a lid, sawdust, and a small compost area is all you need to start. No expensive machinery, no chemical treatments, just consistent, practical methods. The Amish secret is consistency and planning. They maintain their system daily preventing small problems from turning into health hazards. By adopting these low-tech sanitation strategies, families can survive safely through the first 90 days of a collapse, avoiding illness and maintaining hygiene while everyone else struggles with chaotic, unmanaged waste. Extra Amish survival strategies. Even after covering the top 10 secrets, the Amish have additional techniques that give them an edge during the first 90 days of a collapse. One critical strategy is layered water storage. Beyond rain barrels and hand pump wells, they store extra water in food-grade barrels, creating redundancy that protects against drought, contamination, or supply shortages. Another bonus is skill redundancy. Amish families ensure every adult knows multiple survival skills: gardening, food preservation, woodworking, animal care, and herbal medicine. This way, if one method fails or one person is unavailable, the family can continue functioning efficiently. Learning these skills yourself creates a safety net few modern families have. Finally, community resilience is key. The Amish don't survive in isolation. They share tools, food, labor, and knowledge within trusted circles. Even during a full-blown economic collapse, this network reduces risk, provides quick access to resources, and spreads responsibilities. Starting a small, local barter or skills-sharing group is an immediate step you can take, giving you a real-world support system when outside resources vanish. If you found value in these Amish secrets, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss life-saving updates. Remember, the best time to prepare was yesterday. The second best time is right now. Here's a quick recap of what you learned today. The 3-stage cash flow protection keeps money and resources safe. The 90-day pantry pyramid ensures you never go hungry. Off-grid water loops provide life-saving access. Zero electricity preservation keeps food safe. Manual tools and herbal medicine replace modern dependency. Quiet security and waste management maintain safety and hygiene. And building barter networks and community support give you resilience beyond cash. Stay safe, stay prepared. Remember, we're not paranoid, we're prudent. Share your progress in the comments. I read every single one. And don't forget to turn on notifications. Next week, we'll uncover more Amish survival secrets that could save your life.